Second Kings chapter 6 verses 1 through 7 is just a brief story in the narrative about Elisha, and it's one that people oftentimes just hop right on by as they're reading. But this story reveals an aspect of God's compassion that is just really moving and encouraging during this time, especially as we think about COVID-19 and how there has been a more than normal outbreak of the disease among many countries, so it's been labeled a pandemic. And there's a lot of economic uncertainty, a lot of things up in the air. And this story reveals a compassionate side of God, that even in the midst of our daily lives and business practices, that God cares and that God is providing for us in ways that we may not even understand. Now, there's a miracle that's revealed in this story where it may not apply in the exact same way to your life or to your business, but let's hear the scripture and let's talk about it. Now the sons of the prophet said to Elisha, "See, the place where we dwell under your charge is too small for us. Let us go to the Jordan, each of us get there a log, and let us make a place for us to dwell there." And he answered, "Go." And then one of them said, "Be pleased to go with your servants." And he answered him, I'll go with you." So he went with them, and when they came to the Jordan, they cut down trees. But as one was felling a log, his axe head fell into the water, and he cried out, "Alas," or "Oh no, my master, it was borrowed." And the man of God said, "Where did it fall?" When he showed him the place, he cut off a stick and threw it in there, and it made the iron float. And he said, "Take it up." So he reached out his hand and took it. So this miracle of the floating axe head, well, what is it teaching us? Well, one, we see that these sons of the prophet are poor. We see that because, one, they're living in a place that is provided for them by Elisha, and it's even a small place, so they don't have their own home. And we see that even they're too poor to even purchase their own axe head. They're borrowing an axe to cut down this tree to make their house just a little bit bigger. And in the midst of this endeavor, it falls into the water and it's lost. I mean, they were now going to be in debt, and debt had some drastic circumstances that could be quite harmful to a person back in that time. So there's this great fear. I mean, alas we don't use that word in our language, but it was a cry that was motivated by fear. He was really worried about the prospects of his financial state in that time. A lot like how many people are right now with the COVID-19. There's a lot of worry about financial futures and different things like that. But what we see here, we see that God not only cares about this unnamed prophet, he provides for him in the midst of it. So in the midst of the worry, I know a lot of you are business owners, a lot of you are in businesses, or you're retiring and with 401ks or 403bs. There's a lot of uncertainty in the future, and we have to ask ourselves, does God care about the daily minutia of my life? And the answer is yes, he does. He cared about this axe head. He provided for this unnamed prophet by making the iron float, a miracle of nature where he reversed some of the aspects of nature that we see. And we see that it's recorded in Scripture, and it's just a brief story that says, in the midst of the uncertainty, in the midst of the fear of the future, specifically with a financial element in place, God is compassionate. He cares for us in there, and he's providing for us the entire time.